Hello and welcome to the Fighter's Take, brought to you by BetDSI. As always, I'm your host, Hollywood Joe Tussing, and on tonight's show, we are talking UFC 231, Max Holloway putting on a masterful performance against Brian T. City Ortega. Before we get to that, if you look down in the description, you'll find a link over to BetDSI. Follow the link, sign up for an account. They'll match your first deposit up to $500. So, Brian T. City Ortega, 14-0-1, has looked outstanding inside the octagon, was able to take out Frankie Edgar, almost ripped Cub Swanson's head off. Everybody thought Max Holloway might be compromised from the weight cut. I thought that as well. He looked horrible after or at his last weight cut in July, but tonight he silences all the haters, all the doubters, with one of the most amazing performances ever displayed inside the octagon. Max Holloway's striking, his counter striking, his movement. He was cutting angles like it was geometry class. It was just an ultra impressive performance by Max Holloway. From the beginning of the fight, bell to bell, Max Holloway controlled the striking, was outstanding with his takedown defense. Anytime Brian Ortega was close to getting a takedown, Max Holloway's head pressure and his scramble was outstanding. It was magnificent. He was so much better than he has ever looked before. He really did cement himself as the greatest 145-pound fighter of all time. After stopping Jose Aldo twice, he stopped Anthony Pettis. He's on an insane run right now, and he adds one more to the list. Brian T. City Ortega goes down after the fourth round by doctor's stoppage. Max Holloway put in a lot of work with the jab and the right and left straights. He was switching his stance between orthodox and southpaw and really piecing up Brian Ortega. Ortega just really wasn't able to take the pressure of Max Holloway. Ortega landed some really good uppercuts in the fight, but in the third round, I think Max Holloway landed maybe 15 elbows from the clinch or from the dirty boxing position. They were just kind of holding on to each other's hands, and Max Holloway was lighting Brian Ortega up with the right elbow. In the fourth round, Max Holloway started going to the body. Brian Ortega actually took the body shots a lot better than I thought he was, because throughout the round, Max Holloway was relentless, hooking to the body over and over, and then landing the straight right and the straight left. He was landing 3 and 4 punch combos throughout the fight. I've never seen anybody land that many combos in one fight before, or that many 3 and 4 punch combos. It was pretty unreal to see somebody go off on that level against Brian Ortega, but he's the best. He's the greatest 145-pound fighter ever. It'd be interesting to see Conor McGregor come back and fight Max Holloway, because it looks like Max Holloway has added that slip counter into his game since fighting Conor McGregor, and he did it perfectly in this fight. Throughout the fight, every round, he was landing his straight on the button. By the end of the fight, Brian Ortega's face was just hamburger meat. It looked horrible, and I think it was a great stoppage. Max Holloway maybe was rocked a little bit one time in the fight, but really wasn't ever in trouble. Max Holloway, the greatest 145-pound ever, possibly fight of the year candidate. It's got to be performance of the year. Outstanding fight from the Hawaiian Max Holloway. Great night of fights at UFC 231. We have the new women's flyweight champion and the reigning 145-pound champion. Outstanding night of fights. Thank you guys for joining me. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave some comments what you thought of the fight, where you thought Brian Ortega could have maybe changed things, or would maybe possibly have been able to get a takedown or pulled guard earlier. Would that have helped? Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon.